Welcome to Todos Cafeteros. Welcome to 2025, the first video here this year. And I'm so glad that we are back with some content about the Colombian national team here that is playing on the 20th of March against Brazil in Brazil and on March 25th at home in Barranquilla against Paraguay. It is week 13 and 14 in the CONMEBOL World Cup 2026 qualification stage. So excited to talk to you and with you about those games. If you want to share your own thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. But let's dive right into those two games and where the Colombian national team stands after that in the ranking with regards to their World Cup qualification chances. Let's start with Colombia's away game against Brazil in Estadio Nacional Mané Garrincha in Brasilia. Referee from Venezuela, and we're diving right in. How did Colombia perform against Brazil in Brazil? We all remember the home game against Brazil. They won. Lucho's dad's first game back in the stadium after his kidnapping, and Colombia winning 2-1. Now in Brazil, the story was as follows. Let's start by looking at the formation. I really wouldn't have changed anything here. We have the central defenders Lucumi and Sanchez, while over left we have Mojica, over right Munoz. Central defenders are Jefferson Lerma and Richard Rios, while James plays, as always, in position 10 with the number 10 more as a playmaker. Over the left wing, we have Lucho. Over the right side, John Arias, while John Cordoba is the central attacker here. That changed in the second game, but against Brazil, Cordoba started. And just 3 minutes and 4 seconds after the game started, we have Munoz, who caused a penalty with his foul here in the 4th minute already. Very unfortunate, but Rafinha converted to give Brazil an early lead. Despite that lead, Brazil applied more pressure after that. It took until the 20th minute for Colombia to become more dangerous, as this situation here demonstrates. But then in the 41st minute, great gegenpressing by Cordoba. Then we see James pass it to Lucho. Lucho with the bounce to equalize the game. 1-1. Great combination here. Great awareness by Cordoba, pressure, getting the ball, and then the combination between James and Lucho. Colombia had another couple of chances at the end of the first half, but that was it for the first half. Then in the second half, in the 53rd minute, great defending here by Colombia, avoiding another goal by Brazil. Past the 70th minute, Sanchez got injured pretty bad in the situation here. For him, Cuesta came in. Sanchez still kept complaining on the sideline minutes after he had been taken out. He wanted to continue playing, but absolutely correct here of the coaching staff, of the medical staff, to take him off. He was pretty much unconscious for a few seconds, and you can't let a player continue playing. You have to protect him from himself. In that situation, though, we have Brazil kind of using that injury delay. They waited until Sanchez was off. Then they substituted 4 times, including the goalkeeper. Brazil would end up making 7 substitutions in total, so that the game was interrupted for about 6 to 7 minutes. So we got 10 minutes extra time here, which Brazil used for their advantage. They caused the delay. They used the delay in the 99th minute. Vinicius shoots, the ball gets deflected, and Brazil wins 2-1. What an unfortunate ending. Que pena. And just 5 days later, match 14 here for the Colombian national team against Paraguay, this time at home in Barranquilla, in Estadio Metropolitano in Barranquilla. Referee from Argentina. Let's dive into that game and how Colombia performed here, match day 14. In Barranquilla, we look at the formations as well. Again, here, changes compared to the game against Brazil. In Brazil, we see Cuesta, who came in for Sanchez in central defense, and we see Duran, who replaces Cordoba in attack. The home crowd ready to go, and so are we. Captains here lining up in Barranquilla. Hot night again, as always, at the Atlantic coast. The first half started heated as well, and we saw 3 goals in the first half. The first one, after only 40 seconds, Lucho gets Colombia the lead 1-0. After less than a minute, he is completely open. Paraguay's defense slept, left the entire half of the field for Lucho, and he's professional enough. He's the best player on the field amongst both teams, and he gets Colombia up by 1 goal. Colombia with a great start, and then we see a counter attack here just 12 minutes later that Duran converts here 2-0 after 13 minutes, less than 13 minutes. We have Colombia with a dominant start, a safe lead. But as I mentioned, there were 3 goals in the first half. So we're missing the third, which unfortunately wasn't for Colombia. It was for Paraguay just before halftime. Corner kick, and Paraguay closes the gap 1-2. In the second half, James and Rios came off, and a minute later, Paraguay scores this goal. And Ciso stands in offside, but the referee looked at it and said, nope, that's a new situation here. So the 2-2 stands. Clearly an offside, but again, the situation was evaluated separately by the referee, who decided that there was a completely different scene, even though it happens 5 seconds after. And Ciso kind of intervened in the defenders playing and passing the ball. So I don't know. To me, it's at least debatable. And again, we have a goalkeeper that injures himself and stays on the ground for 3.5 minutes. Colombia now with great chances. There would be 8 additional minutes extra time, but in the end, Paraguay wasted most of it, and we got 11 minutes on top effectively. But in the end, it stayed a 2-2 draw. Colombia really gave that one away. This should have been a win. And so instead of advancing to 3rd place, they are now in 6th. Let's look at the table here after 14 match days in the CONMEBOL qualification stage. Again, keep in mind, Ecuador got 3 points deducted at the beginning of the campaign because of the issues that we discussed in the past, false passports, birth dates being issued and whatnot. Regardless, they have -3. That's already accounted for in this table here. But let's look at where Colombia stands after 14 match days. Colombia in 6th place, 5 points ahead of the 7th spot. That wouldn't let them qualify directly, but also only 3 points behind Ecuador, that's in 2nd. So 2nd through 6th, only separated by 3 points. We'll have 4 more games here, so 1 win alone can get you in 2nd position, or it would mean staying in 6th and basically getting chased potentially by Venezuela or Bolivia. And with that, I want to say thank you. This was Todos Cafeteros. I see you again here in June when we talk about match days 15 and 16. Until then, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you and goodbye.